What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video, and today I got a spicy deck list for you guys. So if you watched my last video, I kind of went on a bit of a rant talking about how hard it is to get the new Series 4, Series 5 cards. So what I wanted to do was create a deck list that was all Series 3 cards and below, and this is what I came up with. So if you know anything about me, you know I love Sandman, and you know I love Ronan. So this is kind of a different iteration on my previous Sandman Ronan deck. So let's go ahead and get into the deck list and show some gameplay as well. Before we go ahead and do that, I just want to say thank you guys for showing me some support and you know, really helping my channel grow. It really means a lot to me. Shout out to Bootman helping me grow, and shout out to Rajtronic, who inspired me to make the last video. And if you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing, as we are just about to hit 800 subscribers. So we're getting close to 1,000. We are so close to 1,000. If you subscribe, I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this deck list. So the main two win conditions here are going to be Sandman and Ronan. So these cards pair very well together, and I'm a big fan of Ronan. I think he is an underrated card. He is similar to Devil Dinosaur, except getting +2 power from cards in your hand. Like Devil Dinosaur, he's going to get +2 power for each card in your opponent's hand. So this is a bit of a unique ability, right? So how can we get Ronan to get the maximum value from his ability? Well, there's a couple ways we can do that. One is with Sandman. Sandman has an ongoing ability where players can only play one card per turn. So that's going to limit the number of cards they have in their hand, which will allow Ronan to grow and stay at a pretty decent high number. And then we also have Maximus, which will draw our opponent 2 cards. So Sandman is a very, very good card. I wish he was at least like 1 more power, though. 4/1 is pretty weak. But Sandman shuts down so many different types of decks that like to play a lot of cards on turn 6. So decks like Silver Surfer, Sarah decks, just really any kind of deck that likes to play multiple cards on turn 6 for huge explosive play, Sandman just shuts them down. Like it's so amazing. Like it's so satisfying when your opponent like plays something like a Zabu or Sarah, and then you just drop Sandman and they retreat. It's hilarious. This deck does really well against those types of decks. However, not every deck is perfect, right? This deck is going to struggle against other decks that are fine with playing 1 cards per turn, and that'll be decks like Ongoing Destroyer or decks like Electro Ramp. I think Electro Ramp might be the toughest matchup for us because they play 1 card per turn anyways with Electro's ability, and they're going to be playing like Doctor Doom and then like Odin and Leader. So that deck is a little bit of an unfavorable matchup for us. Shuri decks could maybe be tough for us as well, since they don't really care about playing more than 1 card per turn past turn 4, because they can just do Shuri on turn 4, a 30-point Red Skull on turn 5, and then a 30-point Taskmaster on turn 6. So I think Shuri decks and Electro Ramp decks are probably our hardest matchups. But this deck does really well against Sarah and Silver Surfer and Mr. Negative decks, and some Zabu decks as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the cards real quick. So starting off with our 1-cost cards, we have Korg. Korg might seem like an interesting pick for you guys because he's not really played that much outside of like Zoo decks and Darkhawk decks. But I really like Korg in this deck for a couple of reasons. So one is because we have Maximus, right? Maximus is going to draw our opponent 2 cards, and that is going to fuel our Ronan. But if we play Korg early on in the game, one of those cards they might draw from Maximus is a rock. So drawing a rock always feels bad, right? So that's why I like Korg in this list. But also, since we have Sandman, you can only play 1 card per turn. When we have Sandman on the board, every draw is so important when you play Sandman. Your opponent's going to be begging, like, oh my god, please give me this card, please give me this card. And if you have Sandman on the board, they draw a rock from Korg. Oh man, like, you can't really tell, like, the impact that it has, like with Iceman, right? But it definitely impacts them. It does. And then we have Zero. So Zero is a card I really like. He's going to remove the abilities on the next card you play. We have a couple different options for Zero. The main target for Zero is actually Ebony Maw here. Ebony Maw is really high power 1-cost card with 7 power. Ongoing ability, you can't play cards here, so we can deactivate that ability with 0. You can also deactivate Lizard, which has a negative effect. Or if we don't have Ronan in our hand, we don't want our opponents to draw cards, and you can also 0 out Maximus, which is really good, and he just becomes a 3/7, which is really good value. And then Ebony Maw, the reason I have Ebony Maw in here is because with Sandman, since he is such a low power card on turn 4, we really need a lot of early game tempo to really keep up with our opponent. So Ebony Maw provides us a lot of early game tempo. That way when we drop Sandman on turn 4, it doesn't feel that bad. Scorpion is just one of the best 2-cost cards in the game, straight up. Also a really good early game tempo card. Armor, again, one of the best 2-cost cards. Honestly, I think Scorpion, Armor, and Lizard, I think these are all the best 2-cost cards in the game, straight up. Maybe throw Angela in there as well. But Armor is good at just protecting our 1-cost cards from getting killed by Killmonger, protects our Ronan and Magneto from Shang-Chi, and counters Destroy decks, and just an all-around good card. Lizard, just another good early game tempo card, and a 0 target for us. Maximus enables our Ronan. Sandman limits what our opponent can play. Ronan can get pretty huge with Maximus and Sandman. And we have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a card that's come in clutch for me like more often than I thought she would, to be honest. I've been really enjoying Captain Marvel in this list. So at the end of the game, move to a location that wins you the game, if possible. There have been so many games where Captain Marvel just flies to another location and wins me the game. Like, I don't know. I really like Captain Marvel in this list. Definitely not required. I'll talk about card replacements in a second, but she is very good in this deck list, in my opinion. And then Doctor Doom. I really love Doctor Doom in Sandman decks because Sandman is going to limit us to playing 1 card per turn, right? So your opponent, unless they also have like a Doctor Doom or some kind of card that can put power across multiple lanes, they're most likely going to be limited to just putting power into one of their locations, whereas Doctor Doom can split 5 power across all 3 locations. So very, very good with Sandman. Also very good with Ebony Maw. If you don't cancel out his negative effect, you can slot in a Doombot into your Ebony Maw location for a total of 12 power, which is a lot. And then I threw in Magneto. Magneto is a really, really solid 6-cost card. It's another alternate finisher to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom wants to go wide, right? Meaning he spreads his power across all 3 locations. Magneto goes tall, which means he's just one big point body to put onto one location. But he also has an on-reveal ability to move all opposing 3 and 4-cost cards to his location. So I really like that for disrupting your opponent's plays. And sometimes, you know, Doctor Doom is the better finisher. Sometimes Magneto's the better finisher. It really just depends on what situation you're in. But I like having 2 different 6-cost option finishers. So we talked about the deck list. Now let's go ahead and talk about some replacements in this deck list. So let's see. Zero is kind of hard to replace, but I guess you could put in another 1-cost card like Sunspot or Iceman. But I really do like 0 to cancel out Ebony Maw or Lizard or Maximus. You can maybe potentially put in Cosmo as well. Cosmo, I actually had him in an earlier version of this deck list. Cosmo is an alternate way to cancel Maximus's ability if you don't want your opponent to draw cards. And since it's an ongoing ability, it also protects your Ronan, right? So it protects your Ronan from things like Shang-Chi or Enchantress. So Cosmo could be a decent option as well. And then we have Maximus. Maximus is really hard to replace, to be honest with you. If you don't have Maximus, I don't know if I would recommend playing this list, because he is just such a good card with Sandman and with Ronan. There's not really anything else that does what Maximus does, right? Because he draws them 2 cards, and he's just really good value, a 3/7. There is Baron Mordo, but I don't think he's that good, to be honest. Only 2/3. On reveal, your opponent draws a card, set its cost to 6. Sometimes that's good, but sometimes it can backfire on you, right? Like let's say your opponent draws a death, that 9-cost death, it becomes a 6, and then they'll probably get it for free after that, right? So sometimes Baron Mordo can backfire on you. I'm not a huge fan of him. Maybe if he was like a 2/4, maybe I could see that. But Maximus is kind of hard to replace, to be honest. I guess if you really want to play this list and you want to replace Maximus, maybe just put in another high power 3-cost card, maybe either like Polaris. I would say Thor, but Thor is not very good with Sandman, so maybe Polaris, maybe Wave to cheat out one of your 6-cost cards earlier. So yeah, but that one's kind of iffy if I'm being honest. Sandman and Ronan are obviously the two primary win conditions of this deck, so those cannot be replaced. Captain Marvel is easily replaced. One that people suggest pretty often is Vision. Vision is kind of similar to Captain Marvel, right? Except that Vision is a card you move manually, whereas Captain Marvel will move automatically. And Vision is one more power as well than Captain Marvel, so I could see an argument that Vision is actually better than Captain Marvel as well, but she's come in clutch for me so many times, so I really like playing her. And then Doctor Doom and Magneto, those two are really hard to replace, to be honest. I could maybe see Magneto being more replaceable, maybe just put in either like a Hulk, maybe even like a America Chavez, or maybe even like Arrow. But for Doctor Doom, I really think he's not replaceable in this list, unfortunately, because he's just so good with Sandman. Like I said, Sandman limits us to playing 1 card per turn, but Doctor Doom allows us to put power in all 3 locations, even if we have Sandman on the board. I mean, maybe you can try Leader if you want to go that route. I don't know. I don't really play Leader, to be honest with you, but I think Doctor Doom is essential for this list. Magneto you probably could swap out. All right, well, that is the deck list. It's been performing pretty well for me. I'm at like rank 103 right now, I think. So yeah, it's been doing pretty well for me. And like I said, this deck has no Series 4, no Series 5 cards. So if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I would appreciate it. So let's get into the games. All right, so starting off with this game, we got a really good hand. So Zero, I usually like to use him for Ebony Maw. I'm actually going to do... Let's do Zero on the left, Ebony Maw on the left, and then we can do Maximus into Sandman. I really like playing Maximus into Sandman on curve because you play Maximus and then your opponent's like, oh, they just gave me 2 free cards, and then they might snap on you, and then you snap back and play Sandman, right? So I think that's a really fun play. Ooh, and they got Jotunheim. That is not good for them. I think I'm actually going to snap already because we got a very good hand here. The only thing that would make this hand better was if we get a Ronan or Captain Marvel. But so far, it's looking very good for us. So there's Maximus. Juggernaut. Ooh, that's a dirty Juggernaut. Okay. That's a dirty Juggernaut. At least it landed on Jotunheim, though, and not Murder World. Okay, we got Captain Marvel. Oh, yeah, we're in a good spot. And if he's playing Juggernaut, he's probably a Silver Surfer deck, which just... Sandman just absolutely shuts him down, like I said. So let's see what he plays. Mr. Fantastic. Another 3-cost card, so I'm thinking it is a Silver Surfer deck. So let's go ahead and play our Captain Marvel in the middle. And then our finisher is going to be Magneto, unless we draw Doctor Doom. But Magneto might actually be good, because he plays a lot of 3-cost cards, right? So we can pull them into, like, Jotunheim or something. Ooh, that Killmonger is not great. That Killmonger is not great. I think we should actually just pull all his cards into Jotunheim. I think that is probably the play here. And then Captain Marvel could potentially move to Sewer System to win us the game. So let's see how this plays out. And he retreats. Yep, it was definitely a Silver Surfer deck, dude. I'm telling you, man, this deck, this is it, man. This is it. All right, and we are going up against SafetyBlade, which I believe is one of the contributors at Marvel Snap Zone. Shout out SafetyBlade. I'm gonna hit him with the fizz bump. Okay, so we got the hub. Got Spider-Woman from the hub. Now I do have Zero and Ebony Maw. I think I'm actually going to drop Zero on turn 1. I don't always like to drop Zero or Ebony Maw on turn 1, but I think in this case I will. We also have armor to protect our 1-cost cards. Playing a Quinjet, so it might be a Thanos deck, maybe. I could also zero out the Lizard, but I don't think it's worth it to do that. Let's go ahead and play Ebony Maw. Where do I want to play my Ebony Maw? I guess let's play him in the middle for the Stark Tower bonus. Okay, so we got our Ebony Maw zeroed out, and it is a Thanos deck. Actually, I could have figured out if it was a Thanos deck by just looking at the number of cards in his deck, right? So I probably could have just done that because I think a Thanos deck starts with like 14 cards or something like that. I think we really want to get Sandman in this matchup. We really want to get Sandman here. He might be playing Killmonger. I don't know. I feel like some Thanos decks, they're either like a zoo type of Thanos deck, or or they run Killmonger, right? I think I'm gonna do armor just to protect the Ebony Maw, just in case, because Ebony Maw just represents so many points on the board. Okay, so it was Killmonger. Okay, I did predict it right. He killed his own Quinjet. Our Zero died, but I think that's fine since our Ebony Maw survived. We did not get Sandman, so that kind of sucks. So I'm not gonna snap because Thanos decks can be a little bit scary. I'm gonna do the Lizard on the right, Scorpion on the left, spread out our power a little bit. He has 3 cards in hand. I always like to check how many cards they have in hand to see how big my Ronan's gonna be. Yeah, I think actually Captain Marvel onto getting the Stark Tower buff, I think that's actually really good. So let's go ahead and do that. I still don't know if I want to snap though. Time Stone plus Psylocke is a little bit scary, so he's getting +2 energy this turn. So I'm actually not gonna snap. We have Magneto, no Doctor Doom yet. There's our Captain Marvel. Okay, there's the Thanos and the Reality Stone. Oh man. So he just like denied the buff. Okay, we got Doctor Doom. That's really good for us. We got Doctor Doom. Okay, so Magneto is going to pull... Okay, he's going to retreat. Well, Magneto just would have pulled the Killmonger, but I'm not sure it would have been better there, either Magneto or Doctor Doom, but we ended up winning anyways. Good game to SafetyBlade. Alright, so next game up, we drew a 1-cost card from our Hell's Kitchen, so we got Korg, and we got this sick Ghost Hunter variant, by the way. I've actually had this variant in my collection for a while. I just haven't played Korg recently. I just haven't really been playing Korg. I usually play I usually just play Iceman over Korg, but I actually really like Korg in this deck list. TVA, I'm gonna snap on that because my deck has so much early game power. We got Lizard, Ebony Maw, and Maximus in our hand. I'm gonna go ahead and snap, and he's gonna retreat. That's a good game right there. That's a good game right there. That's a quick one. That's a quick one. All right, next game up, we have Onslaught Citadel. Ongoing effects are doubled. We got a very good early game hand. I'm going to go ahead and drop the 0 on turn 1 into the Ebony Maw next turn. Iceman hits our Maximus. I think that's okay, actually. I'm fine with that. Xandar. So we'll go ahead and play... I'll play my Ebony Maw in the middle, spread out the power a little bit. And he's got a Sunspot, so Iceman and Sunspot could potentially be a zoo deck. Savage Land. It's a little annoying for us, right? I don't want him to play Lizard in Onslaught Citadel since he has a negative ongoing effect. Maybe I should have zeroed out Lizard. I think we're just going to place Lizard in the middle. And Mr. Fantastic, okay. So it could potentially be a Silver Surfer deck as well. Maximus is very risky here because I don't have Sandman, right? I don't have Sandman. So I actually don't want him to draw cards. We have Korg we can play. I don't know. Like, we could play Maximus, but it is very risky to play him. I guess we'll play Korg. We'll play Korg. Play it a little bit safe here. Okay, Juggernaut, fantastic. So it probably is a Surfer deck. We really need to draw our Sandman here. We do get the Sandman. Okay, so maybe I should have played Maximus last turn. Doctor Doom isn't enough in the left. It ties the right. Not enough in the middle. Yeah, I should have played Maximus. But the thing is, I didn't know I was going to draw Sandman for sure, right? That's the problem. We could also do Maximus in armor. We could do that. Maximus there. Oh, wait, no, because we have Sandman. Duh. I forgot. Okay, so I don't think I want to do this because Mr. Fantastic ongoing effects are doubled, right? So I think I just want to play Magneto in the right. This could be a loss. This potentially might be a loss here. I think it was a misplay by playing the Korg instead of instead of the Maximus. He's gonna hit us with a leader, so yeah, this deck does tend to struggle against leader, unfortunately. But I think that was a misplay on my part. I probably should have just played the Maximus instead. So, yep, that's our first loss. All right, so we drew 0 from our deck. I'm not gonna play him on turn 1 here. Oh, he's gonna drop a turn 1 Ebony Maw. That is very bold of you, my friend. Let's go ahead and do... Yeah, we could do Scorpion here. He's gonna snap on me. That is a very early snap. Man, this guy is ballsy. Ebony Maw turn 1, snap on turn 2. This guy is ballsy. So let's go ahead and play Scorpion. Armor in the middle. I don't know if I want to play 0. I don't know. I'm gonna hold on to him for now. Oh, Electro. Okay, well that's actually really good for us. We prevent his Electro from dying, so he keeps the ongoing effect. But if it is an Electro ramp deck, that's kind of hard for us. So Sandman is actually kind of useless here, since his Electro ongoing ability limits him to playing 1 card per turn anyways. So we don't play Sandman. What we do play is we play Korg here, 0 here, Lizard here. Yeah, I think I like that. Ooh, Dr. Octopus. That's annoying. E. Okay. Oh man, why is this guy playing Dr. Octopus? I mean, we're winning, but still, like, he's a ramp deck, right? So he's got a lot of options here. Like he can do Doctor Doom Odin or something like that, or Leader Odin. Yeah, Doctor Doom. So he's probably gonna Odin. Or do we want to play Magneto? His 3 and 4 cost cards is just Electro, is all that is. I think we play him on the left. We pull Electro there. And then it's going to be Odin. And I think Captain Marvel flies to the middle to win us the game, right? If I'm doing my math correctly. Yes! Higher, further, faster, baby. That's what I'm saying. Captain Marvel coming in clutch. Dude, oh my god. I have been loving Captain Marvel lately. I think she is really good in this deck list. So that's the deck and the gameplay. Let me know what you think about this deck list. Let me know if there's any changes you think you might want to make to this deck. And let me know if you want to see more kind of Series 3, Pool 3 friendly decks from me without any Series 4, Series 5 cards. I still don't have any Series 5 cards. I have a few Series 4. But yeah, let me know if you want to see more like budget friendly or beginner friendly decks. And I think it would be interesting to, to make content out of. So thank you for watching once again. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I would appreciate it so much. And if you haven't joined the Discord already, go ahead and get your butt in there. I want to talk Marvel Snap with you. The link for it is in the description down below. And I'm gonna be honest, dude, I'm on Discord all day, so you can just chat with me there, ask questions, talk to other community members about stuff going on within the game or deck building advice or whatever it is. But anyways, thanks again for watching. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Later.